Welcome to another episode of Sema Na ADC. My name is Tabitha Maina, and today I have the joy of hosting one of our senior staff. She's our senior applied scientist at the Microsoft Africa Research Institute, and today she'll be shedding some light on generative AI and large language models that power systems such as ChatGPT. Karibu sana, Dr. Kagonya.
Asante sana. Thank you, Tabitha.
Good. Let me jump right into it. What exactly are large language models?
Great question. So large language models, or LLMs in short, are a type of computer program that understand and generate human-like language. And LLMs are a form of AI. Now, the thing about large language models is that they're trained on vast amounts of text data. And from this, they can understand, recognize, and summarize human-like text and human-like language. And that's why they're very critical to how we are building systems nowadays.
Awesome. And there's a lot of noise around the large language models, more so ChatGPT. What should non-techies, such as myself, care about large language models? How would that change my life as a non-techie?
Good question. So large language models indeed are the backend. You could think of them as the backend that support tools like ChatGPT and even Microsoft Copilot that was launched last month. So for non-techies, the beauty about large language models is that they can help one perform tasks much more efficiently. When we look at areas such as marketing, customer service, content creation, large language models are quite vital because, as I mentioned, they're trained on vast amounts of data. Think of this computer program being trained on everything on the internet. So if you want to summarize a topic, you can rely on a large language model to do it for you. If you want to get creative and generate new content from the internet, you can rely on a large language model to do it for you. And the beautiful thing for non-techies is that previously, for us to interact with these very intelligent programs, we needed to be computer programmers or to have some degree of computer knowledge or computer acumen. But right now, you speak to it in natural language, in English, and in fact we're extending the number of languages that we're supporting, so you can communicate to this computer program as you would to you and I right now, and then you can instruct it to perform the tasks, the complex tasks that you wish to be performed on particular data.
That is interesting. That's amazing. So what can we anticipate as the potential impact of these large language models, say, in our daily lives?
Indeed. So large language models are really taking us closer to democratizing the use of artificial intelligence. Everyone now will be able to access or use the power of artificial intelligence thanks to large language models. Just remember that large language models make it much easier for us to interact with computers and to allow computers to perform very complex tasks. Let's think of small and medium businesses. I'm very passionate about SMBs and SMBs in Africa. What we're doing at Microsoft, I talked about Copilot, and the beauty with Copilot is that it's integrated with our M365 apps. So think of the tools we use every day like Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. When it comes to Excel, many of us don't really like memorizing those complex formulas, even I don't. But thanks to Copilot, because it sits on large language models, you can instruct Excel to manipulate your data. So say if you're a business person, you have copious amounts of data that you've put onto your databases. Instead of having to memorize a formula for you to create for you models and what-if scenarios, you can literally instruct it in English to do that for you. And so we're allowing businesses to spend less time doing these very complex tasks, and we are giving them much richer output. We're giving them much more sophisticated output because of using large language models. And this is beautiful because even SMBs who are often tightly resourced when it comes to hiring staff, not many SMBs would afford to hire a data analyst, for example. But now they don't need to. They can access these very same benefits of using Power BI and Excel because of the large language models and because of these interfaces that large language models allow us to have.
So clearly large language models are empowering all of us to do more
Exactly. They
I
are
love
taking
that.
us closer.
I love that. That's great. So it shows that there's a lot of potential for these large language models to increase access to technology and accelerate a topic that is close to our hearts here at ADC, which is the Africa digitization transformation, and especially for small businesses, as you've heard from Dr. Kagonya. You can read her article. There's a link below. And I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Sema Na ADC, and we look forward to the next episode. Goodbye.
Asante sana.